Afternoon. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Join Dean Duradine with the pregame show at 12:30, followed by the tip-off at 12:45. Catch the Raiders and the Golden Eagles Thursday at the State AA Tournament right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Today, the Baltimore Ravens signed defensive end Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million. It was yesterday that the Ravens backed out of a deal that would have had them acquiring Max Crosby from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. Ravens GM Eric DeCosta talking about the situation today.
Nobody's more upset about this than me. Gutted by it, actually. A big regret for me, but we will move on as a football team, and I think there's many, many opportunities for us to grow as a team, to become a better team, to build a roster, and to be the team that we want to be.
DeCosta said after they lost Tyler Linderbaum in free agency, they had hoped to acquire Crosby and sign Trey Hendrickson. Buffalo Bills signed former Dolphins defensive end Bradley Chubb to a 3-year deal. The Cardinals released quarterback Kyler Murray. Vikings reportedly the front runner for his services. Falcons let go of Kirk Cousins. Syracuse has fired men's basketball coach Adrian Autry. Rory McIlroy still undecided if he'll play in the Players' Championship starting tomorrow. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Good Wednesday afternoon. The Nate Brown Show is back. Glad you're here. Really appreciate you. Thanks for making this show possible. It's a big week this week. The Nate Brown Show has been on for 9 years. I mean, we've been on, off, Montana, here, there, covered high school sports. 9-year anniversary of the Nate Brown Show. Can you believe that? Let's do this. I'm back and ready. Great show tonight. Thanks for making it possible. We appreciate you. It's always a great day in South Dakota. And South Dakota Sports Talk Show on live, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Radio audience, great. Thanks for taking us on your drive home. Remember, you can stream us right now on X. Find us at Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. You've got us there. YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show. Bring us up on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. You can watch the live show and archive shows. Great show yesterday. Coach Aaron Johnston joined us. Great discussion with him. So if you're a Jacks fan, don't miss AJ from yesterday, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. You can see the archive shows there. And finally, we're on Midwest Sports Plus right now, the new high school sports streaming app. Some great coverage of high school hoops all season long and some Sodak 16 games last night. Midwest Sports Plus. Just download it and get this show live. Stream it there. A lot of ways you can access the show. We appreciate that you're doing it. Great Wednesday lineup. Looks good here. Here we go. Brian Noe is on tonight. We have to talk ball. We got to talk NFL and a lot of sightings and more to come. Brian Noe is on Fox Sports Radio countdown to kickoff host here all season long, and he's on the Nate Brown Show coming up from Vegas. We'll go to the high school state tournament preview with Trent Singer, South Dakota high school sports writer for SiouxFallsLive.com. Trent Singer's on tonight. We'll preview girls tournaments and more. Doug Ottewill's live from Denver, MileHighSports.com. I'm getting text on the Denver Broncos this week. I thought I was the Broncos owner. A lot of the Denver fans texting into the show saying, what are the Broncos doing? Where... Well, nothing. Doug Ottewill's coming up, his take on the Broncos in free agency and maybe a lack thereof. Mile High Sports, he's on tap. And we'll go to West Central tonight. The West Central Trojans are undefeated. They are the number 2 seed. Wow, how did that happen? More on that. Dave Hollenbeck's their head coach. We'll get him on tonight. Dave Hollenbeck and West Central undefeated in Class A boys basketball. They win last night. They'll be playing in Rapid City State Class A tournament next week. Busy Wednesday show from high school to college to the pros. If you want to be on, we'll try and do that, no doubt. 605-720-1067. Join us live. 605-720-1067. That's your Pizza Ranch studio hotline into this program, powered by the Pizza Ranch at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Great location in Brandon, home of everyone's favorite buffet, the Pizza Ranch. Also, hit us on the text line, 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. Listener text right away. Happy anniversary. Well, that's big time. That is big time. By the way, 9 years, and it goes by fast. We survived COVID. One of the only sports talk shows that survived that mess and hang on, just gripping tight. And it's been a lot of fun. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We appreciate you. Okay, let me just get into this Viking scenario just for 5 minutes. Can we do that? Just 5 minutes. Now, let's have a realistic conversation today. Some of you have disagreed with me on Kyler Murray to the Vikings. You've been trying to hit me on that, and I appreciate it. It's all good. We love going back and forth. I love the ribbing. I love all that, okay? You've tried hitting me on it, and many of you have said, just Kyler's just a mess. He's no good. He's terrible. He's short. He's this. I mean, I'm getting hit. But the deal was I was out in front of this. I mean, I got to have a little credit. I know I'm not Ian Rappaport. I'm not Adam Schefter. I'm not Tom Pelissero. I'm just telling you, I saw it coming from a mile away. I'm talking this thing into existence. I told you a month ago, like 3.5 weeks ago, Kyler Murray's going to get released from the Cardinals. It is the Vikings' new ticket back to relevance, and JJ's going to be done. J.J. McCarthy, I know he was picked in the top 10. I understand. He's going to be done. They're going to bring in Kyler Murray. They haven't done it yet. They're going to do it. And I said yesterday, and I said weeks ago, it is going to happen. So I ask you, Vikings fans, tonight across South Dakota, are you good with this scenario playing out? Are you finally good with this? Kyler Murray will be coming to the Minnesota Vikings, and I want to have a realistic conversation because did you see who was signed today at quarterback? Daniel Jones was officially signed by the Colts. And this is why all the Kyler Murray haters out there, I don't know where you guys come from, but the Kyler Murray haters, do you see Daniel Jones' contract with the Colts today? This is just out of control. The guy's going to get paid $50 million this next season. Are you trying to... I mean, what if the Minnesota Vikings did that? You guys would have lost your minds. If Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, he's no longer with us, at least as GM. Sorry, Kwesi. But if he would have done that with Daniel Jones, remember, Daniel was with the Vikings. Their third-string guy. Their practice guy. Daniel Jones was with the Vikings. If they would have been we're going to get rid of Sam Darnold, We're going to go $50 million. Let's do Daniel Jones. I mean, you guys, that would have been unheard of. It would have been absolutely crazy. And I'm here to tell you today, the Colts doing that today, I don't care if he had a pretty good year last year. That's nice. That's nice. $50 million. Where is this quarterback market in the NFL? It's just totally out of control. And so let's just bring it all back to reality today. The Vikings are going to get an unbelievable bargain. I mean, it's going to be the biggest steal of the season to have Kyler Murray at $1.3 million. And he's going to be slinging it. He's going to be throwing it, running it. We're going to be up and down the field. This is going to be a massive deal, and it might be one of the biggest stories in the NFL. It might be. I'm telling you, Kyler Murray into the Vikings offense. And by the way, $1.3 million. That's it. There's no risk. I mean, so you have to just kind of compare it to the other scenarios. Daniel Jones is getting $50 million this next season. 2-year, $88 million deal. I mean, it's just out of control. Daniel Jones. So, you Vikings fans are ready for Kyler, I hope. And I hope you have a positive mindset like me. I'm observing you Vikings from afar. I'm a Broncos fan. You guys understand this if you've been a part of the program. My brother's a Vikings lifer. He's with you. He just wants that Vikings title. Kyler Murray's going to get you closer to that. I mean, you guys are going to get the best all-around athlete/QB you've had in a long time. I mean, in a long time. So I think the Vikings fans have to be pretty happy with the scenario, I would think, that's going to be playing out. That's my read on this, okay? That's my realistic talk. So that's all I just wanted to point out. When you hit Kyler Murray and you're going to smack him, oh, this is bad, this is bad. There is no cost. There is really big upside. There's no risk. I mean, it's just not going to put you in a bad spot at all. And then you compare it to teams that have to do Daniel Jones for $88 million over 2 years, a $50 million price tag in one season. I just laugh. I mean, this is just wild. Where Daniel Jones was a year ago to where he is now, this is just absolutely wild. So Vikings fans, take it. Let's roll with it. This is a great opportunity for the Vikings. They are going to get Kyler Murray. This is going to happen, okay? Let's shift back here to South Dakota, okay? I have a question of the day, and this is interesting. I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit on South Dakota high school basketball, okay? I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit. So if you followed the Class A basketball scenario, there's some top teams in Class A boys. They played last night in the Sodak 16, and they won, which was expected. Sioux Falls Christian won their game. West Central won their game. I've got Dave Hollenbeck, the head coach at West Central, longtime St. Thomas More coach. He's coming up tonight. I'm going to ask him about this and see what he thinks of it. But here's the scenario. And it's just another one of those South Dakota high school things that we just make too hard. We just make it so complex, and it's chaos, and it's like, why do we do stuff like this? Here's the scenario. West Central won last night, okay? They're in the State A boys basketball tournament. That's what was expected. They have a great year. They've been the number 1 seed. They're undefeated, okay? They beat Sioux Falls Christian earlier this year. That was a big clash. It was a great game. We talked to Coach Hollenbeck before that game. And West Central ran the table. They had a tough schedule. They played a lot of tough East River schools, Clark Willow Lake, and the list goes on. This wasn't easy Cupcake City. So West Central's undefeated in boys basketball, number 1 seed until last night. Are you following this? So with our seed point system, we calculate, and I've told you, I said last week, the seed points in high school basketball is not a perfect system. It's trying to measure opponents' records and how they do, and you get a certain amount of points if they win, if they lose, and it's your opponent's win-loss record, and it's a seed points formula. It's a formula. And I've always said, the seed points cannot tell us who the best teams totally are. And I've got the point tonight. West Central, undefeated, number 1, beat Sioux Falls Christian. They're in the state tournament. They fall to the number 2 seed. Why? Because Sioux Falls Christian played an out-of-state team that got some wins in the postseason in Iowa. Are you? You can't make this stuff up. So Sioux Falls Christian jumped West Central for Class A state boys basketball. And I'm telling you, Sioux Falls Christian's a great team. We know this. I mean, they could be the number 1 team. They really could. We'll see how it plays out next week. But Sioux Falls Christian has 1 loss. They jumped West Central, who they lost to for the number 1 spot of the State A Boys tournament, because here in South Dakota, we count seed points for out-of-state opponents and how many wins or losses they get in the postseason in their state. So this team that Sioux Falls Christian played from Iowa, they ended up winning a couple of games in Iowa in the postseason, and we counted those points to bump up Sioux Falls Christian. And we don't do that in South Dakota. We cut the seed point scenario off of the regular season, and my point of this tonight, it's just my point, we just make things too hard. I don't know. This is for the ADs tonight. South Dakota High School ADs, when you guys go to your meeting this spring and stuff, why do we count postseason wins, losses for out-of-state teams that impact our state tournament seeding? Why? I don't know why we do that. We don't worry about that in-state. You play in-state opponents, all these cutoffs, end of the regular season. Your seed points are calculated end of the regular season. But out-of-state opponent, they won a couple of games in Iowa. Oh, we're going to bump those and give Sioux Falls Christian some more points because we're going to count out-of-state opponents all the way through their postseason time until the cutoff date. I just can't have that. I'll ask you, it's just one of those things, and it's like, how's it going to play out at state? I don't know. Sioux Falls Christian's number 1 seed, they'll play St. Thomas More. And yes, this would have given us West Central, Dave Hollenbeck, against his old school, St. Thomas More, in the first game next week. That would have been nice. But the whole seed point scenario, we go out of state, calculate it, we count their postseason wins, and bump up teams that played them here in South Dakota. I'm baffled by it. I just asked the ADs, please just look at this. All I ask for is, like, consistency. That's all. I just want consistency. Just do the regular season. So whether you play out-of-state teams or not, regular season, when they're done, regular season, count those points, that's it. When we're done in South Dakota high school basketball, regular season, your seed points have to lock. So the seed points have to lock. End of regular season. Postseason should not count whether you're in state or whether you're an out-of-state opponent. I just can't have it. West Central's going to be fine, by the way. They're the 2 seed. I think they're really, really good. But nonetheless, it's just a formality, and it's a deal that you have to look at if you're ADs and just say, why don't we just get consistent here? Just cut it off at the regular season. You don't have to make up dates. Well, how about this date? And, well, out-of-state opponents, let's take them into the postseason and count their points towards the South Dakota team's power points. No. Why? Nobody's explained that to me. So maybe somebody will. But I would just vote, just go regular season seed points. They're locked. End of story. Postseason's different. It's an entirely new season. That's it. You can't change your seeding at the state tournament based on an opponent out of state that won some games. I can't have that. All right. Let me ask you, should out-of-state opponents' postseason wins be used for calculating our South Dakota high school team's state tournament seeding? You heard that one. Should out-of-state opponents' postseason wins, they're in the postseason, sub-state tournaments, that bumped up Sioux Falls Christian because they played Western, okay? And they ended up winning some games in their postseason, and so it bumped Sioux Falls Christian to the number 1 seed. That just doesn't make sense. Sioux Falls Christian lost to West Central. West Central's undefeated. They beat them head-to-head. Oh, man. But I am told the seed points, they'll tell you who the best teams are. Everybody, they've told me, seed points, it's a perfect system. It'll tell you who the best teams are. Sure. Let's see. Would you use regular season only to calculate seed points? That's what I'd like to know. Obviously, I would. Regular season only seed points, so you don't change seedings going into the state tournament. I mean, your regular season, that's your seed. That's it. You don't change things around when you played some team from Colorado. Who cares? So, all right. Would you just go regular season only? I would. Count the seed points. Regular season only. Your schedule, it's locked. You're done. There's your seed going into the postseason. What would you say? 605-720-1067. West Central goes to the number 2 seed, even after being the number 1 team and staying undefeated and beating Sioux Falls Christian. We'll talk to Dave Hollenbeck, his read on it. He's the West Central head coach later on tonight. Busy show. We'll go back to the NFL with Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Transform any room with window images, blinds, and shades. We have everything you need for updating your window treatments. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Plus, get them trimmed to width in-store for free. View our entire selection of window treatments today on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
When you win the new Millionaire for Life daily draw game from the South Dakota Lottery, you don't just win $1 million a year for the rest of your life. You win the chance to do whatever you want, like bring a hot dog cannon to a wedding reception. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. What would you do if you became a millionaire for life, playing Millionaire for Life from the South Dakota Lottery?
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly. Introducing the $25,000 mortgage match from Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. We're paying off one lucky Clubhouse member's mortgage up to $25,000 just for playing with us. Earn free daily entries by using your Clubhouse card when you play, or sign up for a free Clubhouse card today. The more you play, the more chances you have to win. Then, be here March 28th, and you could be our grand prize winner. Learn more at tinlizzy.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and continues until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Clear skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 46. Northwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, lows dip down to about 24. A dusting of snow tomorrow night through Friday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 40 degrees.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Spring is in the air at Spearfish GMC Cadillac, and that means lot-wide deals on our entire lineup of locally sourced pre-owned vehicles. Choose from all makes and models, trucks, cars, SUVs, and certified pre-owned, all priced below market for unbeatable value. Whether you're trading in or trading up, now's the time to save big at Spearfish Motors. Visit us today or browse our inventory anytime at spearfishmotors.com.
As we kick off the new year and you think about new opportunities in 2026, Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company in Rapid City is ready to help you and your family protect your financial future. Nobody knows what life will bring, and that's why it's so important to have life insurance in place. And Lee Cruz is a local guy that will help set up the right policy that fits your needs and budget. Just take 10 minutes, protect your family with life insurance. Google Lee Cruz New York Life. That's Lee Cruz at 605-360-8804.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live tonight. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. A lot to discuss tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. We had somebody check in from Iowa on the text line. And he said, hey, now, be careful how you're talking about Iowa here, that nobody cares. I was saying, at our state tournaments here in South Dakota, we don't care if we played Iowa teams. Now, I'm not picking on Iowa. I don't want Iowa teams to affect our power points in state tournaments. By the way, he said Iowa and other states have the state tournaments, all of them in one location, right? Lincoln, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa. He said South Dakota's system is messed up. State tournaments everywhere, not in one market. Well, you've got a point, my friend, but be careful. People will come after you on that. They will come after you. All right. Ryan Knows on tonight, Fox Sports Radio, Countdown to Kickoff host, and we're talking ball. Brian, how are you?
I'm great, Nate Brown. Man, listen to you just trashing Iowa today. I love it. I love this cantankerous side of Nate Brown. What has Iowa ever done anyway, huh? Let them have it, Nate.
We are fine. We are fine tonight. By the way, I started my show with something I've been discussing for 3.5 weeks. I mean, it's been out there from me that the Vikings should bring in Kyler Murray. I've been in on this early. I think it's getting closer to happening. You see all the big insiders saying it's going to happen. The Vikings want to get him. I think it's a really good opportunity for the Vikings to do this. Where do you officially stand on Kyler Murray at Minnesota?
I mean, I'm cool with it. I've gone on record, Nate. I'll be honest, and listen, some of your listeners they'll send me hate mail like the Iowa guy sent you hate mail right there. But I'd rather have Mac Jones than Kyler Murray if I'm the Vikings. And I realize the asking price is different, depending on what you believe. The Niners have put it out there where it's like, we want a lot for Mac Jones. And I doubt that's the truth. I just doubt that they wouldn't be, they'd say no to a second-round pick for Nate Brown. For Mac Jones, I doubt that. If you could get him for a 3, I would prefer doing that. If I'm the Vikings, I think you need a guy that's going to be able to throw with, accuracy, anticipation. Mac Jones, he played really well last season filling in for Brock Purdy, and he had a better supporting cast than he's ever had in his NFL career. You go back to his days with the Patriots, and his leading receivers one year was Pop Douglas. A couple of years it was Jacoby Myers. Like, he hasn't been surrounded by great teammates, and the Niners were still banged up, but he was surrounded by better teammates, and he, crazily played way better. So I think surrounded by Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson and a good O-line, I think Mac Jones would be better for that Vikings offense than Kyler Murray would be. I don't know why we've turned into, Kyler Murray fans all of a sudden. We've watched Kyler Murray since 19 be average at best, and somehow this offseason has turned him into, an upper echelon guy. I don't buy it at all. I've seen too much of Kyler Murray, who's had Trey McBride, who is a baller, who's got a top 5 pick, and Marvin Harrison Jr. You think Marvin Harrison Jr. would have these average credentials if he had a real quarterback this whole time? I don't. So I'm not wowed by Kyler Murray. I'm not saying he stinks, but if push came to shove and you're giving me the option between the two, I'd rather have Mac Jones over Kyler Murray.
By the way, you could get me in a trade for a 7th-round pick. You were going to say that, but you could get me for a 7th-rounder. Marvin Harrison Jr., by the way, could have better numbers if he'd caught the ball for half of a year. But nonetheless, let me see. I got to get into I think Kyler Murray takes the Vikings right into contention. They went 9-8 last year, and J.J. McCarthy was all over the map. I mean, they were struggling. They went 9-8. You're telling me Kyler Murray doesn't elevate the Vikings? That's what you're telling me.
I mean, elevate them to what? Elevate them to like 11 wins and a first-round exit? Yeah, congratulations, you're elevated to a quick exit. Like, no, I don't think he does elevate them to anything significant. Does he elevate them more than J.J. McCarthy, a.k.a. 9, which yeah, he elevates them more than 9. But what does that mean? I elevate the Vikings more than 9 does. You know, like 9's nothing. He's nothing right now. He's a guy who handed the ball off a bunch at Michigan, who is a first-year starter, who the expectations are high for, and he's not ready for that. You know, and now he's in his own head. Like, he's just a disaster right now. Can't stay healthy. His production is, leaves a lot to be desired. So, yeah, Kyler Murray does more for your team than 9 does. But does he get you anywhere? No.
Yes.
We've seen Kyler Murray year after year after year. Like, I went to his one playoff game, Nate. Coincidentally, I was there at SoFi Stadium when the Rams crushed the Arizona Cardinals, crushed them, and he did nothing. So to think that, the Vikings are all of a sudden contenders, and wow, look out NFC, look out NFL. Here come the Vikings with Kyler Murray. You can't see very well downfield at all. No, I don't buy it at all.
All right, you're tough tonight. I am in on that bandwagon. The line behind the Kyler Murray bandwagon starts behind me. That line behind the bandwagon starts behind me. Remember that. Okay. How about this? I'm going to compare a guy. You know him. His name's Daniel Jones. Are you trying to tell me the Colts are going to pay Daniel Jones $50 million this season? $50 million? Is that smart?
Wow, he did it again, right? You go back to his contract with the Giants. Remember that? I know you remember that, Nate, whereas, he got $160 million. It's like, wow, he's getting paid $40 million a season? Really? Daniel Jones? I mean, listen, the Colts, they believe he's going to be ready week 1. And he played well, when he was upright before he got hurt. And, I mean, it's like, what are your options if not paying D. Jones? I'm surprised they didn't get him for a more modest rate, right? Like, it didn't seem like Daniel Jones, with an Achilles injury and half a season of really good play, really had the Colts over a barrel. You know what I mean? The Colts negotiated as if they were. So I just think you could get him at a better rate than that. So I would look sideways at the Colts like, bro, you couldn't get him at a better number than what you got him for. So that's what I look at, Nate. Now, he played well until he got hurt, but man, that's a big chunk of change for a guy who does not have a decorated history at all in the NFL. So yeah, little rich. And I know this is a quarterback. I know he played well. I know you're worried about, well, hey, what's the alternative if we don't get this guy? I'm just surprised you didn't get him at a better number than that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I just can't do it. Daniel Jones, 2-year, $88 million deal, could get up to $100 million in 2 years. It's just absolutely bonkers to me. Brian Noah's on tonight, Fox Sports Radio. So what happened here with the Ravens and Max Crosby? He had the meniscus injury, surgery, and they're trying to say, well, the medical didn't come back great. We don't want to do the 2 first-round picks. Sorry, Raiders, we're out. What happened here with the Ravens?
Yeah, they backed out, man. They got cold feet, and you could argue they came to their senses, right? Like, I would much rather have – now, Max Crosby is a good player, very good player, Nate. Don't get me wrong. Max is a baller. But so is Trey Hendrickson. And for whatever reason, Trey Hendrickson just does not get the same flowers as some of the other elite pass rushers get. You look at Trey Hendrickson before he got hurt last season, and you can take that into account, certainly. But before last season, when he only played, 7 games, he had 17.5 sacks and 17.5 sacks. Like, back-to-back years. That's elite production. That's better than Max Crosby. I would rather have Trey Hendrickson on a big contract and not give up any compensation compared to Max Crosby on a big contract, and I got to give up 2 first-round picks. Max Crosby is not 2 first-round picks better than Trey Hendrickson is. So you could argue the Ravens just came to their senses. I don't know why they took the scenic route here, but it seems like they got cold feet. There's a lot out there. Diana Rossini, other reporters saying, hey, the Ravens had more than enough information before they traded for Max Crosby to know exactly what was going on with his knee. So I don't know if that's exactly what's going on here, where it's all medical and he failed a physical, and right, that's what's out there, and that could definitely be the case. I don't know why they would take this path, Nate, if they knew that the whole time. Like, why would you negotiate against yourself? Like, why would you trade for Max, back out of the Max deal? You don't have Trey Hendrickson guaranteed in your back pocket, you know? And all of a sudden, I think his price went up because the Ravens, they're in a pinch. And Trey Hendrickson's representatives certainly know that. So I don't know why you would do it that way. Why would you make Trey's price tag go up when you could have just targeted him in the first place? I don't know why they would do it that way. But long story short, if you're giving me the option between the two, Trey, big contract, no draft picks given up, versus Max, big contract, 2 first-round picks given up, give me Trey Hendrickson all day long.
Now the Raiders have Max Crosby, and I think they're still going to trade him. It's just going to be really interesting how that plays out. I don't think they're going to get 2 first-rounders as this goes. So there's only a few QBs left, Brian. Only a few left. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? What's your gut say about the mystery of Aaron Rodgers coming back to who?
You know what? It feels like Rodgers has a wandering eye, you know, because we always look at the Steelers from the Steelers' point of view, but we really don't look at the Steelers from an Aaron Rodgers point of view, you know? And Rodgers is not a dumb guy at all. Maybe sometimes, if anything, he's like too smart for his own good at times, but he's certainly not dumb. So he can look at the Steelers and say, all right, if I go back there, it's pretty much going to be the same story, right? We might win 9, 10 games, might be over 500, and we really don't have the horses to realistically make a deep run in the playoffs. So it's really most likely going to be a carbon copy of what just happened in 2025. And so I think that Rodgers just has a wandering eye. He's just waiting to see if, I don't know, the Vikings come calling. Maybe there's a better situation, a better scenario than what's most likely to be in Pittsburgh. That's just my best guess, because his actions sure seem to indicate that, right? If he was gung-ho about the Steelers, he would just sign with the Steelers and spare us the theatrics. But I just think that he's holding out for something that's potentially better. I'll put it this way, Nate. If the Vikings picked up the phone and said, Aaron, we want you to be our guy, how does he say no to that?
Right.
I don't see him saying no to the Vikings at all. So that's my best guess, is he just keeping his options open and hoping that someone from, if I wish I knew the Pittsburgh area code. I don't off the top of my head. But whatever that area code is, he's hoping the phone rings from a different area code than the Pittsburgh one.
All right. Brian Noe on tonight, running it through free agency and everything else. And up next, it'll be the Kyler Murray move to the Vikings. And I'm ready for it. Fox Sports Radio's Countdown to Kickoff host. He's on X at The No Show. And his new quarterback, ring it up, Malik Willis. Are you excited?
You know what, Nate? I don't know how to feel about this, because at first the Dolphins are cutting bait with everybody. It's like, all right, well, they're just going to bottom out, which I think is the right thing to do. Just bottom out for a year, get some premium picks, build through the draft in 2027. That's where it begins. And then, boom, they get Malik Willis. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'm not saying Malik is a top 5, top 10 guy. I like the signing, Nate. I like it.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. A positive no over here, right? I like Malik for that price tag, right? He's had limited time in the NFL, but for that price tag, yeah, there's some potential there. They didn't break the bank for the guy. They don't have enough around him, so they're still going to stink this season, and they're still most likely going to get those premium picks. So, yeah, I think it's a risk worth taking because it's financially, it's not a monstrous risk at all. Like when you're looking at what he got peanuts compared to Daniel Jones, that's not a bad place for the Finns to be.
Yeah, $20 million for Malik Willis a year and $1.3 million for Kyler. I like where I'm at with Kyler. All right, Brian, no, I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Always good hanging with you, Nate. Man, you are the president of the 26 touchdown passes a year fan club. That's the most Kyler Murray's ever had. So,
I like that. I'll take that. I will take that and run with that. Brian Noe on tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host, one of the best guys you can get. He does a great job. Countdown to kickoff host. He's on X at The No Show. I just got a listener text. Brian just mentioned that, but a listener text said, I've gone from the VP of the Kirk Cousins fan club years ago to now the VP of the Kyler Murray fan club. I just got that. That was before Brian Noe said that. Well, that's fine. I'll take it. I am the VP of the South Dakota chapter of the Kyler Murray fan club. Anybody want to be president? I'm the VP. Anybody want to be president? I hope somebody has more passion than I do about your Minnesota Vikings. Trent Singer's up next talking high school hoops and our question of the day. SiouxFallsLive.com. Trent Singer coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Upgrade early and save more with Renewal Anderson. Margin savings and get the with 12 months, you can upgrade your home to energy-efficient acclaim replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. And the best part is you pay nothing until 2027. Your first spring upgrade starts here, so don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. the Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa. For members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, good stuff tonight. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. 9-year anniversary this week. We started this show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, 9 years ago Friday. We're going to be doing state tournaments and all that good stuff. So today's the day. We're going to be at state tournament coverage tomorrow. So that's it for this week. And South Dakota Sports Talk Show has been on 9 years. We started earlier in the day, 2 to 4, and then moved it back to the afternoon drive. Fly by 9 years. Can you believe it? I appreciate you. The Nate Brown Show is live tonight. Fox Sports Radio, and we've added our KWSN affiliate, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. We appreciate you guys big time. And we're live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Trent Singer's on tonight. South Dakota High School sports coverage from Trent all season long. He's been doing the Augie hockey beat, and he's going to be hitting that as well. So you want Augie hockey, you got Trent Singer at Sioux Falls Live and high school sports coverage as well. He's on X at Trent Singer, and his work, SiouxFallsLive.com. Trent, welcome back, man. How are you?
Doing good, Nate. Glad to be on, man. It's a busy time of year, but always try to make some time to talk a little high school hoops.
Let's shoot it around. So I've got a question of the day. I got to get your read on this, okay? West Central's coach, Dave Hollenbeck's coming up tonight on the show. He's got a longtime St. Thomas More coach, obviously, and he's undefeated, number 1 seed until last night. West Central's undefeated, number 1 seed, and they win last night. And then they drop to number 2. Sioux Falls Christian gets the number 1 for State A boys because Sioux Falls Christian got seed point bump from postseason victories from an Iowa team. Is that the right system?
Well, I can't say that the system's wrong. It's certainly interesting. I was always under the impression that if you had a scenario, and I think this is the case, if the two teams are tied in seed points, it goes to head-to-head. And I guess in a scenario like this, like there should be a margin, right? I mean, they're only separated by 0.37 seed points. Like that's insane. And then if you look at the head-to-head, West Central beat Sioux Falls Christian straight up on Sioux Falls Christian's home court. It's certainly a tough one for West Central, and I think the points should count, right? If you're playing teams from out of state, you should certainly get rewarded for it, and it shouldn't be like a detriment to you either. But I think the bigger picture, and I would imagine that Dave Hollenbeck would say the same thing. Like, you got to beat good teams regardless to get to the state championship game. West Central, I think they're happy with whatever seed they've got, whether it's 1 or 2. I expect it to be West Central and Sioux Falls Christian in that state championship game, honestly. I know there are some tough teams there. Clark Willow Lake is going to have its say. Hamlin will have its say. And, yeah, there's other teams, in that bracket that are certainly worthy of giving a team a run. But I think the two best teams in the state are West Central and Sioux Falls Christian, and it would be surprising to not see those two in the state championship game. I guess the only difference that'll be is what jersey you're wearing, right? I mean, the top seed might have a say, in that, but I think regardless, West Central happy to be at the 2 seed. It's going to be a tough path, 3-day path, regardless of who you're playing, and they're happy, I think, just to be in the dance.
So here's my solution to this, though. So I think it's okay you play tough teams, Trent, out of state. So like Sioux Falls Christian played Western Christian, they've been really good in Iowa. That's great. I want the seed points to be locked at the end of the regular season. I see regular seasons like, hey, you calculated the seed points. Western Christian give you a bunch of seed points. We can't get more points off of them winning in their postseason in Iowa because we don't allow that in South Dakota. We lock the regular season seed points. I just want consistency. I would just say regular season's over, it's locked. Would you?
Yeah, that's a bit of an anomaly, and I would tend to agree with you there. I mean, once the postseason starts, you have your 1 through 16 when you're talking about the SODAC 16, right? Maybe that's where it should end. I mean, maybe take into account the region games. But yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you on that. I mean, I certainly see that. I mean, I just think, I think, yeah, in the bigger picture, West Central probably should be the number one team. They've been the number one team in the rankings all season. And you know, they won the head-to-head matchup between those two teams. I don't really fully understand why, you know, you're allowed to switch that. I mean, I get why it happened, but I think that there should be a tiebreaker amongst, when you have two teams next to each other, the tiebreaker should go to head-to-head. And I mean, that's how it works in AA. You know, Jefferson got the bump over Washington because they had the head-to-head tiebreaker. So when you talk about the SODAC 16 pairings there, that comes into, you know, into play. They finished tied in seed points, though, and I guess that's the difference here. It's certainly tough. Like, and I think fans are going to make a bigger deal out of it. I don't think the team, like I said, I don't think the teams care as much. I think they just want to get to the dance and show what they're made of. And you know you're going to have to beat good teams regardless. And so I think ultimately it's a lot of us saying, well, that's not right. It shouldn't be that way. But I think the players could care less.
By the way, the only thing we are missing on this, if West Central would have been the number one, Dave Hollenbeck would have faced his former team, St. Thomas More, in the first round. That would have been kind of fun. By the way, speaking of state tournaments, none of them are happening in Sioux Falls. This is the first time since the 60s. No state tournament in Sioux Falls. I asked a question to the audience yesterday. There was a lot of votes on this. Should Sioux Falls prioritize hosting state basketball? I've heard people be all over the map. Well, it's busy enough. The Premier Center gets, you know, big events and they can sell alcohol at some of these and stuff. Should Sioux Falls prioritize state tournament basketball? Do you think it means that much?
Well, I think there's a little bit of gray area there. I think they do prioritize it to a degree. I just think it's, you know, there's other places to go, and you know, you're never going to get the bees out of where they play. You're never going to get the you know some of these are so fixed in, and then you know, it is a priority, I think, to an extent. I just think, you know, there's other things in play. The Denny's always exploring its options and trying to bring in new things. You know, they got the D2 national championships here in wrestling, and that's going to bring a big crowd, man. That's you know, these wrestling communities are big at all levels, whether it's high school, college. You know, it's going to have a pretty good you know, impact here locally for a lot of people coming in and getting to experience Sioux Falls for the first time. So, you know, they prioritize it. I would say they do prioritize it. I just think that you know, it's maybe not as high of a priority as some other things, and I think they're just trying to explore options. If they can try to find an event that they think can you know, bring in a lot of people that maybe haven't come to South Dakota or to Sioux, you know, this area, and you know, kind of get to see what Sioux Falls is all about. And the downtown scene is always, you know, getting better and better. They'll find a way to do that. You know, it's certainly, you know, it's a bummer for us. I mean, from a reporting aspect, I'd love to have it here, right? I love to be able to go, you know, just right up the road to cover some state championships. Otherwise, then you're driving all the way out to Rapid City. And don't get me wrong, I love going out there, but it's a long trek for people out here. So I certainly understand it. I think the kids and the players love going out to Rapid, and that's something you know, that people might overlook a little bit too. I think it's an awesome experience. You know, it's the one final bonding opportunity for some of these teams to go out, you know, stay in the hotels and ride the bus together. And you know, we overlook that aspect a little bit too, as I think the players really like it, and you know, it's tough for fans. I totally understand that, but I just think it's you know, it's cool still that Rapid has an awesome new arena that these guys can go play in, and you know, it's another thing too for them. You know, it's awesome that they prioritize it to that extent to, you know, just they're hosting 2 tournaments out there this year. Like that's going to be a you know, kind of a madhouse down there, I would expect. So, especially when we talk about the Class A tournament, I mean, they do draw a pretty good crowd. So I expect it to be a really good boost for them as far as that.
I'm voting. My official vote, Trent, is a guy from Rapid City. I said Sioux Falls needs to have a state basketball tournament. I think they got to have it every year.
if you want my honest opinion, I prefer it at the Pentagon. I think it's the best venue for basketball in the town. The Premier Center is cool, and it doesn't quite fill out the same way. I thought the A tournament last year in Sioux Falls was pretty good. That's a good spot for it. I mean, these smaller towns, they just bring out pretty solid crowds, and so the A tournament fills out well there. I just love the Pentagon. I think the environment there is the best. I think the bigger drawback for the Pentagon is you do have a limited capacity.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the reason that they don't host the AA boys or single A boys even. They've done the AA girls there. I think it's the best place for a tournament. It's my favorite place in town to watch a game. So I'm a little biased towards the Pentagon over the Premier Center too. So that's just me giving you my personal opinion on the matter. I
like it. I want personal opinions, Trent Singer. This is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. By the way, last one for you on high school basketball and changes or not. So state tournaments have replay review. SDPB covers the game, so we have all the replay, and we review end-of-game shots. And this has been implemented since O'Gorman and Yankton back in the day had a buzzer beater that shouldn't have counted. So there was a sub-state game, Class B boys. Ipswich beat Gettysburg to get to the Sodak 16. It was a late shot. You can't review it. Do you believe South Dakota schools have enough streaming to review sub-state games? I'm not talking regular season, but some of these postseason. Should we replay review postseason outside of state?
I mean, I'd love to see it, Nate. I think the bigger issue here, when you're talking about a governing body like the SDHSAA, it's a standardized thing, and they want to make sure that they have, who knows? Like sometimes on these broadcasts, you got one single camera. The resources are limited. You go to another school, they got a couple cameras working. The standards have to be there, and I think that's the bigger problem with implementing that at that level. Like some of these schools just don't have those same resources to be able to put that on. Would I love to see it? Absolutely. I mean, that would just mean that everybody has is kind of on the same playing field as far as that goes, and everybody has the same resources with cameras, and you have to guarantee that. I think that's the bigger issue, though, is that you can't guarantee that you're going to have, that you're, or that sometimes you got kids running these cameras and they're not on the shot right, and then you can't see the angle and you can't see the clock, and you're not being able to put it all together. So for refs, you're putting another whole thing on the table for them too, to have to go look at a video, and if you are going to do it, it has to be a standardized process.
And that's tough.
So the SDHSAA, I'm for it. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's a good idea, but again, it's something that I think that they have to have standards for in order to get everybody on board.
Puts more on the schools, there's no doubt, and it has to be consistent. Activities Association is going to discuss it. I don't think it's going to go very far with the schools. I don't think. Instant replay review outside of state tournaments. Trent Singer's on tonight. He'll be covering Augie hockey. Big time stuff coming up. St. Paul, SiouxFallsLive.com for the coverage, and high school tournaments just getting set to get underway. Trent, I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
You bet, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. Trent Singer, SiouxFallsLive.com, covers high school basketball and Augie hockey. A great story in D1 hockey for Augustana. Find him on X at Trent Singer, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. All right, good stuff. Listener text coming in. This is good. This is good here. Listener text saying, like, Sioux Falls Christian getting bumped up now in Class A boys to the number one spot. I understand it's not the end of the world, guys. I'm not telling you it is. I just think our formula is wrong. I believe you should cut this off of the regular season for, I don't care if you're playing out-of-state opponents or not. Regular season cutoff. Why do we count out-of-state opponents' postseason wins toward our state tournament seeding? We don't do that for South Dakota teams. So it's over. You can't count postseason stuff because they're on a different timetable. So they're like, well, they're still playing in the postseason. Yeah, we're going to count those games. And this listener text came in. He said, then you're saying playing out-of-state schools is more valuable. Yeah, and that's interesting. It's like, well, hey, if we play out-of-state schools and they're good ones like Western Christian, maybe we can get even more points if they win and get to state and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to value out-of-state opponents more than in-state games. That is correct. Okay, let's jump to the NFL here a little bit. I've got a big question. The NFL is dominant. I love it. You love it. They're trying to add another primetime game on what day? Do you think this is wise? Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 24. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, chance for rain 64. About an inch of snow tomorrow night through Friday night. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 42 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
As a rancher in western South Dakota, you know the meaning of hard work. From working cattle to working in the field, you know that the job begins before dawn and can last into the night. You also know that at the end of the day, it's more than just work. It's a way of life. When it comes to banking, you need a bank that values your time and is committed to your growth. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in tonight. Busy show tonight. Talking NFL, talking high school. Coming up, Dave Hollenbeck, West Central head boys basketball coach, the second hour. Hang on. West Central's undefeated. Great season for Coach Hollenbeck after a long time at St. Thomas More. Boy, that would have been something. West Central would have played St. Thomas More in the first game of the Class A state tournament if we had a correct seed point system. But we don't have correct seed point system. We want complicated things. We got to cut through a lot of red tape, and then we sit here and wonder, why do we do stuff like this? Somebody's got to take leadership on this. Somebody's got to step in and say, why do we count out-of-state opponents' seed points in their postseason games for our teams in South Dakota when we should just cut it off of the regular season like we do for the teams in South Dakota? Boy. Dave Hollenbeck got the number 2 seed. They'll be okay? Nobody cry for West Central. It's okay, but Coach Hollenbeck's coming up. Okay, NFL question of the day tonight. You tell me what you think of this. The NFL is exploring adding another primetime game. Now, hang on a second. We got, what do we have here? Monday Night Football. Okay, it's great. That's a long time. You got Thursday Night Football, which didn't start that long ago, if you really think about this. Thursday Night Football didn't start that long ago. Then we did the old Amazon Prime package for Thursday. Then they get into, later in the year, Saturday. They get all Sundays. We got all those. Then they've started doing the Friday. They had that Friday night start, bumping up with high school football. That's a beauty. I mean, I love the NFL, guys. You love the NFL. It's number one. It's king. Nobody will take it down. It's king. And I'm just trying to figure out, do they ever cross the line of oversaturation? Sounds like a dumb question from me, because I've always told you, it's king. You'll watch. I'll watch. I got Peacock for one game. I got Peacock for one playoff game. And I still have it to this day. I mean, you'll watch it. I'll watch it. That's just what it is. That's why the NFL is smart. It's a business. They're going to be on every single night. So here's the new primetime game they're adding, or they're looking to add, the night before Thanksgiving. So I want all you guys listening tonight, any ladies listening out there, are you going to let your husbands watch night before Thanksgiving, all day Thanksgiving into the night, then Black Friday, and then that weekend on Sunday? Are we good to go? I mean, can we just sit back that whole week? Are you going to let your husband sit back that whole week and just watch the NFL? So here's my question. Is there ever a danger of oversaturating with some of these primetime games like this? Because we got the Christmas stuff now, too, on Netflix. So we got Christmas all day. And that leads us into the weekend, depending on where Christmas lands. So basically, Thanksgiving week, here it is. Monday night, Wednesday night, all day Thursday, Friday, and then into Sunday. They got the whole week. They have the whole week. Is there any danger at all of oversaturation for you? Because I have to admit, I host this sports show. This is our 9-year anniversary this week. Oh, yes. Celebrate. I heard everybody out there. Thank you. I get a little bit of pressure. I don't know if she's listening right now. My wife's a great person, high quality. I get a little pressure. If a Thursday all-day thing is like, are we still watching football? Like my Thursday night game? Was that my Broncos playing that one? I can't remember now, but they either did the Christmas thing or I think that was Christmas. And maybe that was a little more stressful, spent a lot of money. But I just get a little pressure after Thursday all day. I help, and, I step up. The turkey, I do the turkey, all that. But then I'm watching. And then by the end of the day, it's kind of like, are you still doing this? And then Black Friday, no, we're not going to watch again. And then Sunday. So I get a little pressure. I don't want to tell you, Wednesday night before Thanksgiving now, there's going to be a comment. There will be a comment. Because this whole charade here where I tell her, hey, I got a sports talk show. I got to stay plugged in on this. I mean, I got to stay dialed in. That whole thing only goes so far after over 20 years of marriage, okay? You got to play it smart, NFL. Don't get us in trouble like this. Don't get us in trouble. Is there any danger of oversaturation by the NFL? That's my question of the day. Honestly, you tell me. 605-720-1067 on the text line. Ladies, are you going to be letting your guys, are you going to be right there with them watching? Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Thursday all day. Friday, Black Friday, you got a game. And there's college football too, right? So you got to watch the Huskers there, and then NFL at night. I think they had a couple of games Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken, on Amazon. And then Sunday as well. Any danger of oversaturation with these prime time games? Would you keep them a little more focused, just Sundays and Thursday night and maybe the Thursday Thanksgiving? What do you say? 605-720-1067. Listener text coming in. We will have a game for the NFL every day of the week sooner than we think. What do you mean? We got Maction on Tuesday night. I got to watch Sacramento State on Tuesday night. So, listener text coming in. Nate, you need to be the commissioner of South Dakota High School sports. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Thank you. I thought I was going to say the NFL for a minute. Listener text, Friday night used to be sacred for just high school until the NFL moved in recently. They want the day before and after Thanksgiving. They need to back off. They don't need 6 days a week. Okay, so that's an NFL fan, right? I've heard from this guy before. So he's an NFL fan on the text line, and he said, just cool it a little bit. We're going to watch Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. We're going to watch. If it's my Denver Broncos, we're going to watch. If it's your Minnesota Vikings, led by Kyler Murray, Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, you are going to be locked in. Locked in, right? Hey, 5 questions from Chris tonight. It's a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show, so Chris sends me 5 questions. We've been doing that for 4 years. Speaking of anniversaries, 5 questions from Chris coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Upgrade early and save more with Renewal by Andersen. March into savings when you buy one window or door and get the second 40% off. With no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months, you can upgrade your home to energy-efficient Acclaim replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. And the best part is you pay nothing until 2027. Your first spring upgrade starts here, so don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Visit RBARapidCity.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. I appreciate you a lot. All of our listeners and sponsors to make this show happen. We appreciate it, covering South Dakota sports from high school to college to the pros, your favorite teams. Try and do the best we can. Appreciate you being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union, my family's banking partner. We've been with them a long time because we switched because we saw the great service, the great rates, whether it's vehicle loans, maybe it's business loans, maybe it's home improvement. They'll work with you. The right choice for me and my family was BHFC. They have 18 locations across South Dakota. Great, from the Black Hills to Sioux Falls. So become a member. Take advantage of all the benefits at Black Hills Federal Credit Union. I'm telling you, mobile banking on my phone is great. Saves you a ton of time. They got all the good stuff. Get a bank that works for you. Personal connections. Get started. Become a member. It's easy to do. BHFCU.com. That's BHFCU.com. Coming up this hour, Dave Hollenbeck live, West Central head boys basketball coach. We'll talk about his great season after long time at St. Thomas More, 4 state titles. He goes to West Central, going to try and win at West Central. They're undefeated. And Dave Hollenbeck's coming up. Doug Ottewell is on tonight, live from Denver. What are my Denver Broncos doing? I'm getting a listener text from Broncos fans that are a little uneasy about not much happening in Denver, trying to make a splash in free agency, and they really haven't. You know, they have to upgrade running back, tight end, some of this stuff. So not much happening with the Broncos. Is that the right play? Are they good enough? Doug Ottewell from Mile High Sports, live from Denver. Hey, it's a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. Let's go.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
All right, 5 questions from Chris. 4-year anniversary of 5 questions from Chris. Unbelievable. Here we go. Question number 1. Nate, you were talking about the former AD at Nebraska, Bill Moose, and his book that dealt with his time leading the Husker Athletic Department. A section of the book that hasn't been talked about as much is Nebraska looking to get back into the Big 12 Conference at that time. Then it all stopped when Oklahoma and Texas went to the SEC. Nate, do you think the University of Nebraska regrets moving to the Big 10? I don't know, Chris, like, all you Husker fans, if you love the Big 12 and the old Big 8 and stuff, maybe you had that connection, but I don't think Nebraska regrets moving to the Big 10. I know they haven't been in the mix, and they're not there with the elite programs, but I don't think they regret it. The money faucet has been running. I mean, if you can get into the Big 10, and they did, that's been a home run. And they've had success. I mean, volleyball's off the charts, right? So Nebraska football is not there, but money-wise, they're where they never would have been. So Big 10 so much better than the Big 12 in the big boy sports. So I think Nebraska, I don't think they do regret going to the Big 10. I don't. Question number 2, speaking of the Huskers, Nate, we all know and understand March Madness is coming up. It's about matchups. The Husker men could get a 3 or 4 seed. Do you think the Huskers will finally win their first March Madness tournament game? I'm not as high on the Husker basketball team as some of you guys. I'm just being honest. I have a Nebraska homer that's just going to hate this. He texts me Nebraska. They're good. They will get a win. They're not going to go on a run. Can I say that? So if they get 3 or 4 seed, they will get that first win, elusive first tournament win. I don't see Nebraska going on a big run in the NCAA tournament. I'm sorry. I mean, I like them. I've watched them quite a bit. I don't see it. Question number 3. There's 20 regular season games left in the NBA. The Western Conference is dominated by OKC and San Antonio. Do you think anybody else can make a run? Denver, Minnesota. Can they make a run in the West? It doesn't seem that way. I've been watching OKC and San Antonio a lot. Been watching the Nuggets a lot. Seen Minnesota. I think OKC's the best. San Antonio's in that mix. I don't think the Nuggets will be there. I don't think Houston will be there. I don't think the Timberwolves can get over the top. Out of the West, Chris, it will be one of those two, OKC or San Antonio. And I'm a little worried it's going to be OKC again. Question number 4. World Baseball Classic was created in 2006 to be an alternative to the Olympics. After 20 years, should Rob Manfred look at ending the World Baseball Classic if teams are refusing to play their best players, etc.? I got problems with this World Baseball Classic this year, and I'm going to talk more about that. Mark DeRosa just messed it up. He didn't know the formula. It's like he's a travel baseball dad. You gotta know the winning the tiebreakers and all that, Mark. He messed it up. They should have won against Italy yesterday. So, anyway, I can't get into all that. I'm going to do that later. The World Baseball Classic, you're not pitching your best pitchers. Bryce Harper didn't sound excited about it. I mean, I don't think people really care. So your point, Chris, like, World Baseball Classic, I don't care. And I don't think he'll end it because if you're still making money and there's still some buy-in there a little bit, I think they got a TV deal and all that. So he won't end it, but the World Baseball Classic is not, like, special. It's not special. Bryce Harper even said the Olympics are what people really care about. He said, he's kind of saying nobody really cares about the World Baseball Classic as they should. All right, question 5. 5 questions from Chris. With Max Crosby's deal falling through with the Ravens, what do you think the Raiders should do with Max Crosby still on the team? Should they trade Crosby? Or try and keep him and have him play well, trade him next offseason? I think the Raiders have to still trade him. I do, and I think the Raiders will. But I think the Bills are out now. They got Bradley Chubb. Can you believe that? Can you get the Bears to give you something? You're not going to get 2 first-rounders. That deal's messed up. So the Ravens host you on that. Raiders, I think, have to trade Crosby because they've already signed a bunch of guys. They're kind of putting their salary cap team together. You got to trade Crosby. You're not going to get as much, but I think you got to trade him. I expect the Raiders will. 5 questions from Chris in the books. 4-year anniversary of 5 questions from Chris. Big time. Appreciate it, Chris. Doug Ottewill is in from Denver. What are my Broncos sitting around for? Mile High Sports senior writer coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Give your walls the most advanced protection with Pittsburgh's Paramount Interior Paint and Primer in one. It's scuff, scrub, and wear resistant, while also blocking stains and delivering true one-coat coverage. Choose from thousands of color options and refresh your space for spring. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer to find great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Mom, can we please go to a Tiki Indoor Water Park Resort? Wautiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Wautiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WautikiWaterpark.com.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 24 tonight under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain tomorrow, highs level off around 64, mainly sunny. About an inch of snow tomorrow night through Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 42.
Join Fox Sports Rapid City for coverage of the State AA Girls Basketball Tournament beginning Thursday at the Monument in Rapid City. The Rapid City Stevens Raiders make their 13th straight state tournament appearance as they meet the Aberdeen Central Golden Eagles in the opening round Thursday afternoon. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Join Dean Guradine with the pregame show at 12:30, followed by the tip-off at 12:45. Catch the Raiders and the Golden Eagles Thursday at the State AA Tournament right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Finding the right gear starts with finding the right people. At Trav's Outfitter, we take the time to get to know you, to understand the work you do, and help you find the gear that fits that work. We're here to earn your trust one visit at a time. Because when you work hard, where you shop should work just as hard for you. Visit us in the old Kmart building. Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here on your drive home. KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Welcome in. Fox Sports Rapid City. Hope you're having a good day, everybody. Dave Hollenbeck's coming up. West Central head boys basketball coach. State basketball in Rapid City next week. Class A. Dave Hollenbeck's team's undefeated. Going to try and win a title for East River. He won 4 of them. West River. Dave Hollenbeck coming up. Let's go to Denver. My friend Doug Ottawill's back in Mile High Sports. By the way, Doug, I've been seeing you've been doing some high school sports stuff. You got passion for high school sports in Colorado. I saw you said state basketball is like one of your top sports weekends.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've missed one since I was probably 5 years old. It's a must on my annual sports calendar, no doubt.
Okay,
and we're right in the middle of it. I heard you talking about yours 1A state championships this weekend. We all classes are crowned this weekend, so I will be busy at the Denver Coliseum.
Okay, I love it. I love that. So hang on a second now. Do you guys put every state basketball tournament in one site? Is it in Denver, or do you have state basketball tournaments around Colorado? What's the story?
It's kind of all over. So there were 2 years, I believe, in the, call it like late 80s, where everything was at Pepsi Center. But now 4A, 5A, 6A are at the Denver Coliseum. 2A is, I believe, at Hamilton Gym at DU. There's some games at Moby, some games at UNC.
Okay.
So they're kind of spread all over, and it's varied a little bit year to year lately. So it's not always the same. The Coliseum's been pretty consistent, but I wish we could get them all in the same venue, all in the same weekend. But Kroenke Sports has to make that happen, I think, in order for it to work.
Okay, I just discussed that because South Dakota gets a bad rap, Doug, in high school state basketball tournaments. Some people think we should put them all in one place, like Rapid City with the venue or Sioux Falls with the venue, but they're spread around. We always have big tournaments in Rapid City, but they're spread around in some of the smaller communities. And some states, Nebraska puts them all in Lincoln. Iowa puts them all in Des Moines. Minnesota puts them all in Minneapolis. So I just always thought, okay, how does Colorado do it? Do people like spreading them out? Or you said you wish they were all in one location. Would people be interested in watching all classes one site?
I mean, I would like it that way for selfish reasons, obviously, because I like watching all the classes. And it would be, if that one site were Denver, specifically if it were at Ball Arena where the Nuggets play, I think that's the premier basketball facility in the state, and I think your state champs at all levels should be crowned at the premier facility in the state. But I also understand, I mean, they have some pretty big attendance there in the Nuggets and Avalanche and even the Colorado Mammoth, so it's not easy to find dates. The state wrestling tournament is held there, but really that's only 3 different days. And so I think it's a little easier to accommodate than trying to, we have 6 classifications in basketball, so
yeah,
you really need about 2 days to do all the state championship games, and then if you threw in semifinals, you probably need 4 or 5. So it's tricky. It's not as easy as just saying, yeah, I wish it would happen,
Doug Ottewill on tonight, milehighsports.com. Find him on X at @DOttewill. He's getting set for Colorado State basketball as we get set for the girls here in South Dakota this week and the boys next week. Okay, let me jump to the Broncos. We always hit on this. So I'm getting messages from listeners. I haven't hit on the Broncos much here in free agency because they're not making any splashes. Now, they want to upgrade at running back, but they decide to stick with J.K. Dobbins. Do you think that's good enough?
Well, I think it's a loaded question because if you're talking about J.K. Dobbins that's healthy, it's a great signing. I mean, he was top 4 in the league when he went down, but I could also make the argument that he's never finished a season in his career. I mean, I think the most he's ever played in a season was 15 games, and most of them have been. Well, I think he's had 2 seasons where he's had just a couple games. One where I think he had 7. I want to say I lose track, but point being, I think it's sort of that. Yes, he's a great addition when he's healthy, but he's historically never been healthy. So I think to bank on the fact that he's going to play a 16-game season. I mean, if he's in the lineup, I'm convinced that they're in the Super Bowl. But he was hurt, which is not an unusual situation for J.K. Dobbins. So I like the signing, but I do fear that there needs to be some kind of insurance policy, whether they pick somebody up from the scrap heap late in the summer, or whether they draft high. If they take a running back with their first round pick, I guess that would probably be an insurance policy, although there's nothing guaranteed in the draft. But yeah, it's a loaded question, unfortunately, because of J.K. Dobbins' injury history.
What do you say to a Broncos listener? He sent a text into this program and said, here's the scenario that he sees right now with the Broncos. Well, they were good, 14-3, number 1 seed, pretty good, but they haven't made that extra big play. And he's thinking, this is the Bills with Josh Allen. We're good. I think we're good enough. We're not going to get a big-time A-lister, and the Bills have missed. Is that the Broncos that just didn't do the Kenneth Walker? Go big. Get somebody at tight end, like somebody real, somebody at linebacker, somebody real. Are the Broncos going to miss?
I think that's kind of the consensus here, is that they kind of have missed. Because you are in a window right now. You do have a quarterback on his first year, his first contract. And so they're past Russell Wilson now, so they had some money to go out and do it. I think, Sean Payton kind of said it best. It was probably a couple weeks ago. He said, look, I'm not naive enough to think that, we couldn't have lost a few of those one-score games. And I'm paraphrasing, but the Broncos were involved in a ton of one-score games. And, what they always say is football is a funny shape, and some years it bounces your way and some years it doesn't. And, their record is phenomenal, but they also won a lot of games by a pretty narrow margin. So you don't get all those breaks the next season with pretty much the exact same team. You're not, you may not be the number one seed. You may be looking at a wild card spot. So I think that they have missed, and I think the biggest thing for me is their offense was so, how do you put this? It was unpredictable, but it was only really good when they needed it to be good in the fourth quarter. I think, they lack playmakers. They lack a tight end. I think they kind of missed on Evan Ingram. They lack, like I said, J.K. Dobbins was great when he was playing, but they weren't committed to the run game. It didn't feel like, even when he was in. And, at wide receiver, I don't know. I think they like their guys a little too much. I mean, Cortland Sutton's a really good possession receiver, but is he a number one on most teams? Not sure about that. And then, underneath him, they've got a bunch of guys that are kind of up-and-comers but haven't proven themselves. Marvin Mims is really good in our eyes, but Sean Payton doesn't seem to use him as much as most Broncos fans would want. So I kind of wanted to see them make a splash with an offensive player, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They're a good team. There's no way around that. But you're playing with fire. I think when you sort of take that approach, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And I think they didn't exactly get better.
Doug Ottewill on tonight. MileHighSports.com for the coverage. Find him on X at D.Ottewill. By the way, Dre Greenlaw's out the door, and I'm seeing reporting like, Dre he didn't fit in. It wasn't great. That was a big signing. They did Hufanga, and we like that. They did Greenlaw. Everyone's like, see, man, they're loading up here. So they did those, and then the Greenlaw thing doesn't work out. So that's where people go, well, see, it doesn't always work out. What do you think of Greenlaw out?
I think from everything that I've heard, kind of people talking, reports coming out, whatever, it felt like a little bit more of a culture thing with him, where he just didn't quite fit in the locker room and wasn't real happy about, how they used him. And you could probably take the other side and say, well, he was hurt, and maybe Sean Payton didn't trust him. There was the one game where he came back, and then he got an ejection it was a post-game ejection for touching an official, so he had to miss more time. Like, it just seemed like there was never any flow to the Dre Greenlaw experiment. So I don't know that, do I think he's a good player? Yeah, when healthy and when his head's right, I think he's a really good player. But it didn't seem to fit. And it sure didn't, I don't think anybody's going to say, man, we really miss Dre Greenlaw next year, because he didn't have that kind of impact, at least in my eyes, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm kind of like, Greenlaw, it didn't work out, and now he's out the door. Can the Broncos make a play here? It doesn't seem like it's going to be huge either way, and then they go into the draft. You think the Broncos are going to be better next year? And you just said it felt like they really didn't get better, and we haven't been to the draft yet. Could they be better next year?
I mean, personally, I don't see it, and it's not because I don't think that they're a good team. I do, but I think they caught a ton of breaks this year. To win 14 games, you got to be playing really, really well, and they were. But I also think, if you take a handful of those wins and a play or two goes the other way, they're a 11, 12-win team. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a really good football team, too. But I don't think they're not 14 games, number one seed, good. The only asterisk I would say about that is that, Mike Shanahan used to famously say those quarterbacks that hit their third year, if they're really good, that third year is special. And that's when you see whether a guy is Super Bowl caliber, is ready to lift a franchise. And I think Bo Nix has been phenomenal. I really do. But if Mike Shanahan's right, I think, you could see something great out of him in year 3. And so if that's true, if Bo Nix is that guy, and I think a lot of people think he is, maybe that's where they actually get better. Still, though, I would have loved to get him some weapons. He reminds me a little of John Elway's early days when he had guys around him.
Yeah,
and there were some guys that had really nice seasons. Mark Jackson, Ricky Nattiel, some of the three amigos had some nice years, but up until they got, Shannon Sharp and Rod Smith, he had guys. And I think, you kind of look at that comparison and say, man, if Bo Nix had some big-time target, or at least some, real speed on the outside, or, something, or a really, really reliable, talented pass-catching tight end, like you feel like, okay, you've given him something. But, in Denver, we saw Elway play a lot of years without Sharp, Smith, or Terrell Davis, and, it only gets you so far.
We'll see where the Broncos go if they can pick up some guys that you're thinking, well, maybe they made a smart play, waited here a little bit, and they got this guy and they got that guy. We'll see who's out there. Doug Ottewill on tonight from Denver, Mile High Sports. Man, I appreciate you as always. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nate. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Doug Ottewill from Denver, talking Broncos and more. Mile High Sports. Find him on X at D Ottewill, longtime guest on the Nate Brown Show. Celebrating 9 years. South Dakota Sports Talk Show started this week 9 years ago. Now, I've been doing a show over the years. We've been here. We've been in Montana. We've done all this. But 9 years of South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Appreciate guests like Doug Ottewill all throughout the time. Coming right back. Been covering this guy a long time. I called all the state championship wins. Can you believe that? He won 4 state championships in South Dakota at St. Thomas More. Now he's trying to win another one, but he's at West Central. They're undefeated. They're playing in the Class A state tournament next week in Rapid City. Coach Dave Hollenbeck coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Upgrade early and save more with Renewal by Andersen. March into savings when you buy one window or door and get the second 40% off. With no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months, you can upgrade your home to energy-efficient acclaim replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. And the best part is you pay nothing until 2027. Your first spring upgrade starts here, so don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show tonight on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here, the Nate Brown Show. If you miss parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest, every show right there. A lot of great guests tonight. We had Coach AJ on last night, South Dakota State women, 4th straight Summit League title. Head coach for the Jackrabbit women, Aaron Johnston, on last night. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Wherever you get your podcast, just search the Nate Brown Show, and then you've got every show. You can listen to the high school, college, pro interviews right here. Let's go to the high school level. State A boys basketball tournament starts next week in Rapid City at the Monument Summit Arena. West Central's undefeated, and their head coach is Dave Hollenbeck. Coach, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Nate.
I wanted to ask you, you leave St. Thomas More, you go out to West Central. I've had you on. We've talked about this team, and the season, undefeated, how hard has it been? You haven't faced a schedule in your career like you just faced. You had a lot of tough games. You go undefeated. How hard's it been?
Well, you know, it was really tough there for a stretch. We ran into some sickness, some injuries, but we've pretty much got everybody healthy back now. And you know, I was kind of complaining early on how tough our schedule was, but I was kind of glad the way it ended. You know, we got through that tough stretch, and then we had some games that we were able to coast through a little bit at the end and get healthy. So it turned out pretty good after all.
What set this team? What did you want to bring to this team? This team was good last year. Now it seems like they're really, really good. What did you want to bring?
Well, I just thought we could do some improvement defensively right away. You know, that's one of the first things I saw, and you know, I felt we could take care of the basketball a little bit better than they had. You know, they're talented guys, and it's a good group. They're very coachable. You know, we're still trying to find ways to maybe play a little bit tougher on the boards and defensively, but you know, they've been a great group to work with and very coachable.
How did you send that message to them defensively? Because St. Thomas More defense takes a bunch of charges. They play a ton of, you know, tight man-to-man defense. You've done that over your career. So how did you bring that to these guys? What was the message there? You said, well, they're coachable. So what'd you stress to them?
Well, we just challenged them every day. You know, when you mentioned the charges, we ended, I think we took 28 charges in the regular season this year. I was hoping to get a little over 30, but I think that was one of the big improvements. And then just getting these guys lower in a stance. I thought they stood up quite a bit at first, and we're still working on that. There's still a lot of improvement we can do, but obviously we're getting down to the end of the season, and we're going to have to play a lot of good defense this weekend or this coming week at the state tournament, and hopefully we're healthy.
Dave Holland back on tonight, West Central head boys basketball coach, longtime coach at St. Thomas More. A couple of Sodak 16 games I was watching. You guys took care of Webster dominant, and then I saw St. Thomas More beat Lennox in overtime. I thought you were going to play St. Thomas More. I thought you were going to be the number 1 seed, and then you dropped to number 2. I don't know about that system, Coach. I think Sioux Falls Christian jumped over you because of an out-of-state team that they played that had postseason wins. Would you want your other coaches or ADs to say, hey, we should cut off a seed point calculation at the end of the regular season? Would you want that or not?
Well, I think that would probably make the most sense. I mean, but, where our state isn't going to do what makes the most sense. This point system was put in, I suppose, it must have been about 10 years ago now, and they had these 2 cutoff dates put in there, basically because back then it was hard to tell if an out-of-state team had a regular season game or a playoff game. The internet, they didn't quite have all the websites and stuff they have now.
Okay.
So it's very easy since COVID to tell if somebody's playing in a playoff game or a regular season game, but they never did change it. So I don't understand it, and quite honestly, this isn't a good time for me to talk about it. After the state tournament, I'll tell you how I feel about it.
Okay.
But the main thing is, it doesn't matter for we got to go play whoever we have, and you got to play 3 games. So, and if you want to be at the top in the end, you have to win 3 games. I mean, that's all it is right now. But it's a point of contention for me.
I was looking at it. I said, I don't know if we should count postseason wins toward from an out-of-state team toward state tournament seeding time. That's me. We'll see where that goes. You guys would have played St. Thomas More, so I guess that wouldn't have been an easy one for you. What did you think of, I guess, Tony Young, your former assistant coach? You get St. Thomas More to the 8th seed. They're going to play Sioux Falls Christian.
Yeah, no, that was a great win for St. Thomas More. Tony's done a great job with those guys, and I was really happy at how they stepped up that last game and really competed well. Lennox is a really good team. They're a tough group of players. They're athletic. So it was kind of nice to see Tommy Moore step up and play well there. And so, no, Tony's done an outstanding job with those guys. That entire coaching staff's done well. And Sioux Falls Christian will have their hands full, I think, a little bit if Tommy Moore comes into this healthy. The first time they played, it was a 30-point game or something, but I think St. Thomas More is going to be a little bit different crew this time around. But, anytime you're playing Sioux Falls Christian, you're playing the best. I mean, they've got best athletes, and they've had tremendous amount of success. So that's a tough draw for St. Thomas More.
That'll be first game of the Class A state tournament next week in Rapid City. Dave Hollenbeck's going to be in the night session. Give me your early read on Cheyenne Eagle Butte here, your first matchup Thursday night.
Well, from what we've seen so far, they're very athletic, very quick, and they can shoot the ball. They really shoot the 3-ball really well, and they got a couple guys, that are shooting 6-8 feet behind the 3-point line. So they're a tough guard. Anytime you can stretch the defense like that, it makes it hard to guard on the driving lane. So, we're going to have our hands full there, and so we need to be ready to play and come with a prepared scout. So we're looking forward to it though, and I know my guys are excited to be playing in the state tournament.
I'm excited about it. I think the Class A state tournament's going to be a really good one. West Central's the 2 seed. They're undefeated, and they'll take on Cheyenne Eagle Butte. That'll be Thursday night. Class A tournament, Summit Arena next week. Coach Dave Hollenbeck. Coach, always great to have you. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Dave Hollenbeck on tonight, talking West Central boys basketball. Unbeaten. We're the number 1 seed all the way. They beat Sioux Falls Christian head-to-head, but the power points, the seed point system bumped them to number 2. We got to get that fixed. Coming right back with who's hot and who's not next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Hey Black Hills, this is Scott Hanna. And this is Adam Ray, and we have a full-service mechanical repair shop, Gateway Tire and Alignment, right here, right now. We have top-of-the-line equipment with skilled, experienced, expert mechanics, offering all services from oil changes starting at $49.95 to brakes, to free AC checks, diagnostics, engine work, even diesel. We can get you in now. No more waiting for weeks to get your car in for service. We're your one-stop shop for sales and service. Visit us at 123 Omaha or go to GatewayAutoplex.com to book your appointment. Gateway Sales and Service. I'm Scott Hanna. And I'm Adam Ray. And nobody, I mean nobody, beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A high wind warning begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow and remains in effect until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 24 tonight under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain tomorrow, highs level off around 64, mainly sunny. About an inch of snow tomorrow night through Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 42.
If you're not at Murphy's this St. Patty's weekend, you're doing it wrong. No one does St. Patrick's Day weekend like Murphy's. Doors open at 7 a.m. with a themed St. Patty's menu, green beer flowing, and all your favorite St. Patty's shots ready to go. At noon, the 4th annual Leprechaun explodes with the legendary Running of the Gingers with huge prizes on the line. Live music all day long. Tanner Johns, Kevin Brott, Bijou Bell and the Rathco capping it off with Flannel throwing down the ultimate 90s party at 9 p.m. This is where you want to be on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales. Winter is here, and as always, we're here to help with all your winter automotive needs. From mobile oil changes to around the wheel and under the hood repairs, we fix most everything, and we'll do it at an affordable price. What about tires, batteries, and brakes? Absolutely. With over 50 brand name tires, we have deals as good as anywhere. 10% off our Duralast Pro Power Ultra batteries, a 5-year battery with roadside assistance, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles. Fantastic. And if people need financing, can you help there? Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, an interest-free card for 6 months on every repair over $199, which saves a lot of people who need immediate help with repairs. Get an answer in minutes from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button. Take advantage of that card, people. See anytimeanytime.com. And, of course, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's roll tonight. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Locations at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Stop by at the location in Brandon. Outstanding Pizza Ranch, locally owned and operated, home of everyone's favorite buffet at the Pizza Ranch. Who's hot category? I'm going to go to Daniel Jones. I mean, the guy is the next Kirk Cousins. Doesn't win anything, but makes all the money in the world. Made a ton of money with the Giants. Didn't win anything. Making a ton of money with the Colts. They just signed him for a 2-year, $88 million deal. $50 million next season. For Daniel Jones. I mean, what are we doing? In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, say it ain't so. Matt Kearney turned on the Office TV, said, let's watch Wyoming and UNLV. You're a Wyoming fan? And they lost. They came all the way back from 16 down, and they lost to UNLV. Poor Sundance Wicks. And Matt Kearney said, let's watch it. And then they started losing. It's amazing. Thanks for listening. State Tournament basketball tomorrow. See ya.
It may not require a textbook, but it's